Returning now to tonight's lead story, President Trump saying he could sign an executive order and end birthright citizenship for certain children. Now, the commander-in-chief spoke about the plan during an interview with Axios.
Some legal scholars believe you can get rid of birthright citizenship without changing the Constitution.
With an executive order.
Exactly.
Right.
Have you thought about that?
Yes.
Tell me more.
It was always told to me that you needed a constitutional amendment.
Right.
Guess
14th
what?
Amendment.
You don't.
You don't.
Trump continued saying he is currently in the process of preparing that executive order. Bill Donohue is the president of the Catholic League, the prominent organization defending religious and civil rights. He joins us now. Bill, let's just get right to it. Is birthright citizenship a privilege or a right?
Well, you know, it's debatable under the Constitution because there is a 14th Amendment provision regarding being born in the United States. However, a number of constitutional lawyers have, I think, correctly argued that that wasn't meant so you can game the system. Let me give you one quick example, I think, which most people would agree. If, let's say, a woman is traveling from let's say, Mexico City or to London or wherever she may be, and she has a layover in the United States, and the baby is born, would that baby be considered a U.S. citizen? The answer is yes. You're not gaming the system. It's just a matter of happenstance. If, however, it's done as a function of chain migration, in other words, people coming here deliberately to exploit the law, and so that you give birth in these kind of birth tourism areas, and in very unsanitary conditions, I might add, in many cases, so that the child can then claim American status, you can go back to your home country and then come back in again. That's a problem when anytime people try to game the system and exploit the law, you're running into difficulty.
Bill, that being said, would you say there's some credence to President Trump calling birthright citizenship a magnet for illegal immigration? Are illegal immigrants taking advantage of this law by having these anchor babies?
The reason why we're having this discussion is precisely because of that. President Trump is correct to call attention to this. There are a lot of ways in which you can kind of find your way under the radar to exploit the immigration laws, or in this case here, even the 14th Amendment to the Constitution. Look, viewers need to understand something. There's not a country in Europe, not one, which puts up with this. The only two developed nations in the entire world which have a kind of an open border situation like this are the United States and Canada. It's about time we need to reconsider our laws. Certainly they should be applied justly and humanely and compassionately to any woman who may find herself in a situation where she's giving birth. But to simply say that we can have a green light to anybody who wants to game the system and come on over here, I think that's something that we have to understand and learn from the Europeans. That's not the way to proceed.
I want to pursue that with you a little bit further, Bill. According to fact-checking website PolitiFact, the U.S. is one of 30 countries around the world that offer citizenship to every person born on the country's soil. And that's according to that website. There's a catch to that, though. Most of those countries have additional requirements before citizenship is granted. So is this something that U.S. should embrace? Are these facts skewed in any way?
Well, here's the difference. The countries, I've looked at that list. Most of those countries are in the developing world. So obviously there's not a great demand for going from one relatively poor country into another poor country. The reason why the developed world, and that certainly would include all of Europe, would include Australia, as well as the United States and Canada. Australia and Europe, they don't have this kind of provision. Only the United States and Canada has it. And let's face it, people wanting to migrate here illegally are not going into Montreal. They're coming into Minnesota. There's a very big difference. So we have an extra reason why we have to keep our guard up. Otherwise, we just become a place that can be exploited by virtually anybody.
All right, Bill Donohue, thank you so much. Perspective and insight always appreciated. We'll probably tap in one more time with you as this issue progresses, but thank you for being with us here today.
Thank you for the opportunity to express myself.